What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Stoppage Time Stooges. I'm Christian, your host, joined by Ricardo and Jacob. Andrew is not with us as we record tonight. He is sick. So if you're friends with him, if you know him, send him his best wishes. He's trooping out there. So we're missing him tonight, but we do have his predictions. If you're looking at the title, which is our UCL knockout playoff predictions, we're recording this on Monday night. And the round starts on Tuesday afternoon. So we're very excited for that. Some of us are stressed about that, maybe. Not really. Ricardo, maybe.
What?
But yeah, we'll get right into it. Before we talk about the big matchup, Ricardo, we'll start with you. How are you doing?
Dude, you want me to bring up the Eagles, but I feel like I'm great. I'm doing great, after the Eagles winning, but How are you doing?
Jacob, I don't know if the answer's going to be the same.
I'm great. Whatever Ricardo just said. I'm swell.
No, you're not.
Really? Are you sure about that?
You're not.
You really want how honest do you want me to answer that question?
I didn't ask for a fake answer. I want the real, genuine Jacob right now.
Hellish.
There we go.
Doomsday.
That's better.
Apocalyptic.
Authenticity.
Apocalyptic.
Well, that's how Philadelphia is going to be. I mean, that's how it was last night.
I was going to say it already was.
Yeah. Not good.
All right,
and my own teams didn't really help the cause either. So
well, I'll save you from
that
misery and let's talk the other football. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's hard to start with anything but the headliner, which is Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Both teams underperformed in the league phase, to say the least. Both teams are dealing with injuries in key positions. Both teams need a big result here. So, Ricardo, before we give a prediction, what are you thinking about this matchup in terms of the Real Madrid point of view?
Well, the biggest thing is the injuries on the defensive back. I mean, really on that defensive line. Lucas Vasquez is injured now again. Like, he just got injured somehow this past weekend. When he got subbed off, he looked perfectly fine. I swear to God, this is like the fourth time this happened. Someone gets subbed off, they look perfectly normal, and then it comes out like later in the day, he's out for like a few weeks. I'm like, what is going on? Like, he looked fine coming off the field, but it's just been a common theme. Asensio Tchouaméni, that'll probably be the pairing going into tomorrow, into the game against City. So not feeling great about it. Valverde's probably going to have to play it right back. So
who's going to play it right back?
Valverde, most likely. Actually, no, 1,000,000%
in there. I'm not.
You want to know the good news?
Well, what's the good news?
You know who's playing right back for Manchester?
I'm glad
City?
you brought this up because this was a point of emphasis.
You know, Mateus Nunes.
Oh, it could be Rico Lewis.
Not much better.
Slightly, but not really.
If Vinny Jr. doesn't have the game of his life,
I'll be concerned.
It should be a feast like it's on Thanksgiving. Like, I mean, talk about a mismatch. Oh my God.
No, you're right. You are right about that. And he kind of needs, Vini specifically needs this because against Atletico wasn't great. I feel like last couple games he hasn't been great. But that's kind of been masked by the fact that Mbappe is, still scoring goals left and right. And Rodrigo still putting in a shift every game. So it's not like it's been a hindrance necessarily, but it should be an advantage for him. It should be an opportunity for him to, get back into form and back into scoring ways and look more threatening. And he just really needs that. But overall, I would say Madrid should be favored. City is just, we've gone on about them. It's just that they still struggle in the midfield and they have their own injuries as well. And it's just, at least on the attacking front, Madrid has more power, more firepower.
Yeah, I think one thing I'm looking at, I know we talk about team selection with Real Madrid because, again, how you set up the back line is going to be very interesting. It's the same situation kind of for Manchester City. Does Kusanov start at center back? Probably not. It'd be a big risk to start.
If they put him and Nunez in a back line and they don't score 3 goals, that is embarrassing.
I don't think they will, but I mean they paid a huge fee for him, so you would think at some point he's going to be important.
Yeah.
But he's one name I'm looking at. Nico Gonzalez, or now he apparently wants to be referred as Nico. He got hurt at the weekend against Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
If they don't have him, do you want to play a double pivot of Kovacic and Gundogan? Kind of know that's not working. So maybe Marmoush starts. I think Marmoush is probably
healthy yet, or is he only like Stones?
Stones played at the weekend.
Maybe
I don't know if
him
he's
there.
ready to play a full 90
Yeah.
back to back, because again he's been dealing with injuries. So I think for Manchester City's side, especially having the first leg at home, they need to really set the tone in the tie if they want to go through. I have no idea how Pep's going to set his team up, because Haaland's going to be in there. You would expect Foden, who didn't play much this weekend, to be on the field. You kind of know that it's going to be, a pretty standard team in certain areas. But
you think he's going to play Ederson?
Ederson didn't play the weekend. I think he's hurt.
He's hurt.
Either way, I don't know. He at least wasn't in the squad on the weekend. That might have been just a precautionary thing for rest. But
he didn't play against Arsenal, did he? It was more Ortega, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I just think City, as much as we talk as Real Madrid, City's got plenty of question marks in terms of team selection as well. So I'm very interested to see how Pep sets the thing up, because, again, they need to really win, and they might need to win by multiple goals in the first leg for them to have a true shot of getting through, in my eyes at least. Jacob, do you see it that way as well?
I do. I think for City, especially since this is 2 legs, I think they got to come out. I think there are multiple outcomes where even if they lose, it's not the end of the world. If they lose 2-1 tomorrow, to me, that's not the end of the world. I think that if they are down by multiple goals going into the next leg, I think they're screwed, in my personal opinion, because I just don't think that in this form, they're not really fit to climb an uphill battle like that. If let's say that they lose 2-0 tomorrow. I think for Real Madrid, which makes it almost more important, I almost think the pressure's on Real Madrid, even though they're on the road. They need to win tomorrow. Like, you don't want to give City life, because if you do, that means that they're still in it. They have time to get healthier. They have time to get a little bit better and be in better form by whenever the next game is. So if I'm Real, I'm trying to go in for the kill tomorrow. And by doing that is taking advantage of the fact that City is not very strong at the back right now because of all the injuries that they have. And they don't have really any healthy defensive midfielders that at least are any good or good in that position. So if I'm Mbappe and Vini Jr. and the whole Real Madrid attack, they got to take advantage of that. If I'm Carlo, I'm screaming about going after Nunez every single time and going after Kusanov, whatever his name is, every single time.
Yeah. I mean, one thing to note in between, because the way this is formatted is they play a Champions League game, you go back to the league, and then you go to the second leg of the Champions League tie. Man City at the weekend has Newcastle.
Yep.
And Real Madrid has Osasuna. So advantage to Real Madrid in terms of strength of that weekend fixture. How much of a difference that makes, we'll have to see. But I guess we'll get into predictions. Ricardo is our Real Madrid fan on the show tonight. How do you see this game?
So I'm doing the aggregate score, right? Or
Aggregate score, yep.
Okay. 4-2 Madrid.
And before I get to Jacob, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous, I'll go with the word nervous, going into this tie? 1 to 10.
Maybe a 4.
Okay.
I'm not really that nervous.
Okay. Fair enough. This is the worst version of Man City we've seen since the first season of Pep, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say that's a good answer.
Jacob, do you also have Real Madrid going through?
Yes, I do. Trying to think about the aggregate score. I think tomorrow it's still so hard to envision. It's still like I have a hard time wrapping my head around like City getting dominated, like predicting City to get dominated and not being surprised about it. It's still throwing me off. I think tomorrow might be 3-1 Madrid, and I think that the next game would be we'll go. You know what? No, I'm going to change it. I think that tomorrow might be 1-1. And I
Okay.
think that back at the Bernabeu, I think that it's 3-1 Madrid. So let's do
4-2 on aggregate.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you did the same thing as me, basically. Of course you did.
After a lot of internal math, we got there.
Damn it.
Oh,
It took us a minute. Unfortunately, gonna have to tell you that there's gonna be another combination of exact same answers, and that's me and Andrew.
Okay, great.
Well, last time when this happened a year ago, me and Ricardo were the right ones. And you two were writing Sociedad.
Well, me and was it me?
No.
No.
I was Sociedad. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was you two. Oh, it was
Jacob,
me.
if you want to take the blame for me, be my guest.
No, I'm not going to because I know I wasn't in the wrong. It's freaking Sociedad.
That was a bad miss. That was a bad one from us. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But going back to Madrid and City, I have 5-3 on aggregate in favor of Real Madrid. I think both teams are going to ship a good amount of goals in this across two legs. And I just don't see how City's defense can hold up across 180 minutes against an informed Rodrigo in particular. And then you add in Mbappe, you have Vinicius, who's going to wind up going against Mateus Nunes, you would think, for two legs. I see that right back position for City being such a disadvantage that you're going to see Vinny come to life in these two legs. So I have 5-3, and so does Andrew. So all four of us have Real Madrid going through. Usually that works as a jinx. I guess for Ricardo's sake, I hope in your mind you hope that doesn't be the actual thing that happens. But yeah, that's all for City. Let's start touching on a few of the other ones. We'll start with the all-French matchup between Brest and PSG. Before we got into this, me and Ricardo were going through the head-to-head. Since I think it's 2010, 20 matchups between these two teams. PSG has won 18 of them and drawn the other two. Brest has never beaten PSG, according to what I was looking at. So we don't need to do too much previewing. The only thing of note is Kvara is in the squad for these. So if it could get any worse for Brest, having Kvara come off that left wing is going to be an issue. So, Ricardo, any hope for Brest in this matchup, given, again, that they matched up at the beginning of this month and PSG won 5-2?
No, not a chance. I mean, PSG are fine their form. I think, their midfield is playing a lot better too in the Champions League. So I think they're starting to put it together. So no, I really don't give Brest a chance at all.
Jacob,
I don't either.
I assume you agree.
We're not late enough in the UCL to start picking against PSG, especially against a team like this. There's no way they lose to maybe I just jinxed them, but I don't think there's a shot in hell they lose to this team.
I hope you did jinx them, but just my hatred towards them.
I just don't see it happening. Especially with now they have Kvara.
Yeah.
That's a big new shiny new toy to add to a team, and they seem like they're peaking lately.
Yeah,
and and I feel like they've beaten them up so much, as you illustrated earlier. If I don't think that it's going to be a bit more beneficial for Brest to beat them if the stakes are even higher. So I'm going to go with PSG. I think this is pretty obvious. Want a prediction?
Total score over two legs.
I'm glad you're going first also.
You know what? 5-0 PSG over two legs.
I thought it was going to be higher.
Oh,
hey, 5-0's fair. One person to note Honestly, if you're looking at most informed players across Europe right now, Ousmane Dembele is right up there. I think.
Shocker.
I mean, at one point, I think Luis Enrique had him like outed from the squad.
Yeah.
Taken out of the matchday squad at one point. 2 goals at the weekend. In their last match against Brest, he scored a hat trick. In the match before that, he scored 3 against Stuttgart. So Dembele on one wing, Kvara on another wing. You have Barcola, Goncalo Ramos.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, it's gonna be a brutal 2 legs for Brest. I just don't see the team that, again, they were doing great at the beginning of the league phase. They were the darling of the competition. And I just don't see how they can hold up against, as Jacob mentioned, a PSG team peaking at the right time. Jacob's got 5-0 over 2 legs. I have 7-2 over 2 legs.
Wow.
I think it's going to be really rough. Ricardo, did you give a score prediction?
No, I'm close to you, though. 6-2 was my prediction.
6-2, and Andrew went 4-2. So
that's too low.
I tend to agree. I don't see how it's going to be that close of a scoreline over 2 legs.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Maybe we'll see something different. All right, let's talk about Juventus PSV. US players here for PSV. Unfortunately, Ricardo Pepi's out for the season. Malik Tillman's injured, and Serginho Dest has not recovered. And then for Juventus, talk about new signings. Kolomuani scored 4 goals in his last 2 games. So Dusan Vlahovic has got a lot of work to get back into the starting 11. Juventus, more known as Drawventus lately. Do we see the bigger team in this matchup, Jacob, getting through, or any hope for PSV?
They better get through. Because I was told Thiago Motta was a visionary 6 months ago. And that they had to hire him. They needed to get rid of Allegri, who's such a cancer. Because they were, being second and being in the top 4 was actually a bad thing. Because it wasn't sexy to watch. But so I guess somehow it's much more fun to watch a team that has 13 draws in the league. Again, how is that even possible?
I wish. I don't think Ricardo has an answer. I don't think Andrew would have an answer. I don't have an answer. I do not know how Juventus is not good in the attacking end with all the players they have, and a manager, by the way, that had a good attacking team at Bologna last season. Yeah. I have no idea. I couldn't give you an answer.
I don't feel great. I mean, Pepe's out for the year. But hey, they got Tyrell Malacia on loan. I don't know if that's going to help.
They still have attacking talent.
Like who?
Luke de Jong, Bakayoko, Johan Bakayoko.
Johan Bakayoko.
Noah Lang is a player that had a lot of talent. He's got 12 goal involvements, I think, in the Eredivisie this season. So they do have the pieces. It's going to be an interesting one because, again, Juventus does not score enough.
All right, then
I tend to agree with you, Jacob, there.
Let's go on aggregate. Juve 2-1.
Okay.
Low scoring.
Ricardo, what are you thinking here?
So I know I texted you one thing, but I think I'm changing it now.
All right.
I'm gonna go 3-2 Juve. I'm tempted to pick penalties, but I'll go. You know what? No. I'll say 2-2. It goes to shootout. Juve wins.
2-2 shootout. Juve wins. Okay. I'm gonna ask for a random prediction then. Who scores the winning PK? Give me a random name.
Kolomuani.
Okay. There we go. I have gone with 3-2 to Juventus. I think they will just sneak by, which is going to be a very unconvincing way of doing things. But I think PSV will pose a good enough threat, especially having the second leg at home. I think that's what's going to make things a little more chaotic. I think Juventus will just narrowly get through. Andrew, unlike what he just did for PSG, he has Juventus scoring 5 over 2 legs and winning 5-2.
Gee.
Yeah. So he's a believer in Kolomuani.
Or he just thinks that PSV suck. I mean,
Could be that. We don't know.
Could be that. Yeah.
We'll find out off air. All right, last matchup of the ones that begin on Tuesday. Tricky one, Sporting versus Dortmund. Dortmund recently sacked Nuri Sahin. Sporting have one of the most coveted strikers who's been dealing with injury lately, and that's Victor Gyökeres. So, Ricardo, I'll kick things off with you. Where are you at on Dortmund right now? Because in the league, they're a mess. But in the Champions League, they have the advantage of having the second leg at home in this tie.
See, I don't know. It's just chaos across the board. I mean, Adeyemi almost left, but didn't happen because I forget what was the reason for that again? Did Adeyemi want to stay, or was it they couldn't agree on money? I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but when I read, I thought it was something related to not believing he would fit in Conte's system.
Oh, that
might have been it. Again, he's going to get a move in the summer probably.
Yeah.
And at least in that situation, he gets a choice of where he gets to go potentially versus Napoli. But he's available. That's a good piece. Anybody else of note in your mind for Dortmund that could be a game changer here?
Man, I'm trying to because I look at both teams and I'm just like they're both kind of just a mess.
Yeah.
So it's like which of them is less of a mess? I don't know. But Dortmund's more proven in Champions League, if that makes it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that gives them a slight edge. But it really could just be a really back and forth, chaotic sort of game in both legs. So, you want me to give my prediction now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'm going to say 4-3 Dortmund over Sporting. I guess solely off of the experience factor.
Jacob, do you have any optimism about Sporting pulling off the upset here?
Is Gyökeres playing or not?
So Gyökeres at the weekend came on for 21 minutes off the bench. So he should be available. I don't know about starting, but
that's their only hope.
Yeah.
To me, because he's great. Although it is the Portuguese league. So you take it with a grain of salt. Both of these teams are in disarray. But I'm gonna agree with Ricardo where I'm gonna lean on the pedigree of Dortmund in the UCL. Because even though I don't trust you, or they don't really show up in the league, and they haven't the last 2 years, they get up for this competition. So let's go with 3-2 on aggregate.
Sporting's a difficult one because, again, they moved off their manager mid-season with Ruben Amorim. It's really not looked the same since then. They finished the league phase with a loss at Leipzig, didn't finish in the top 24, and then their last match was a 1-1 draw against Bologna. Again, another team that didn't finish in the top 24. So Gyökeres is a really good player, and he's been dealing with injuries lately. Him being available makes things a little trickier because I don't think Dortmund has the center backs to handle him. I don't think they're good enough defensively, especially when you lose a guy like Mats Hummels before the season. Dortmund's not convincing enough for me to think they'll dominate this over 2 legs. I do have them winning 4-3. I think Jamie Gittins is going to be the player that gets them over the line. Maybe Guirassy gets a goal or two. But I don't feel great about this one. I do think Sporting has a very good chance of pulling this off, despite a managerial change and Gyökeres being in and out of the team lately. I do think they have enough firepower still to cause some problems. But again, Andrew, like us, in agreement, 4-3 on aggregate. So a lot of 4-3s here. But Dortmund, again, all 4 of us going with them. All right, let's move on to the matches that begin on Wednesday. Club Brugge and Atalanta. Club Brugge just narrowly in, one of those last few teams that got in. So a little fortunate to get through. Atalanta were a team that were hunting a top 8 spot, doing well in Serie A, but didn't get that top 8 spot. So they're in this situation. Feels like a one-sided matchup. Ricardo, you see that way?
Yeah, I mean, you and I were talking before. Nitegi scored 4 goals on the weekend, and I mean, he's been in pretty good form just generally. So, and this team knows how to attack, defend. So, yeah, it should be fairly one-sided. I don't know. Part of me is like, maybe Bruges will make it a little more interesting than it has to be. I don't really know why. I don't have a reason for it. That's just a feeling I have. But I guess prediction-wise, I'll say 5-3 Atalanta over Club Brugge.
Jacob, what do you got for a prediction here?
Definitely picking Atalanta. I don't trust Club Brugge at all. I feel like Atalanta's just in better form. They're a better squad. They got more experience. Obviously, winning the Europa League last year was big for them. We'll go 4-2 Atalanta on aggregate.
Yeah, Club Brugge coming into this not in good form. They have one win in their last 6, it looks like. 6. One in their last 6. So not good. In their last match, we kind of saw what they like to do against bigger teams, against City, which is kind of bunker in and counter. Yeah. I don't think it'll work over 2 legs. I think they're more suited to in that one-legged tie scenario. So I don't see it going well for them. I have it 5-1. I think Atalanta is going to really show their attacking muscle in this matchup. And I don't see Club Brugge having any resolve over 2 legs. Andrew has gone with the closest of any of us. He has 3-2 for Atalanta over 2 legs. So he thinks Club Brugge is going to be a tricky team for Atalanta, which is certainly possible. Again, they really made things difficult for a struggling City team. It took them till the 62nd minute to take a lead. So maybe they can do something very similar against one of the top teams in Italy. All right, another potentially one-sided matchup is Celtic versus Bayern. I think all of us will assume that's going to be how it is. But, Jacob, what are your overall thoughts on Bayern? Do you see them as a potential dark horse in this competition?
Should be. Better be. Anything less than that's, I think, disappointing. It's good that they are having a better year than they were last year. Seems like Leverkusen's Cinderella run's over. At least to winning the league again. And if they do end up winning the league, then Vincent Kompany should be fired.
Harsh but true. I would tend to agree.
I mean, I still have no idea how he got that job, but
because their first 4 options were unavailable.
Yeah.
How is he option 5?
I'd love to know, but you know what? If they win the
I
league,
am convinced that they did not watch a single Burnley match last year. Because if they did, there's not a shot in hell they would have hired him. But hey, he fell upward. Good for him. Thank God he was a great player because I have no idea. I mean, you know what, though? His team's playing pretty well. They got a great record in the league. So I think Bayern wins this. I can't. Does Celtic have any
say it. No, I know where you're going.
6-0 on aggregate.
Okay.
They're going to say 7 something, but
nah. I do love Jamal Musiala, so
fair.
It's one of my favorite.
One thing to note with this is the Champions League final is at Allianz Arena, so
that isn't motivation, then I don't know what is.
Exactly. They won't get there. It doesn't matter.
Will they get through this though, Ricardo?
Yeah, of course they will. I think everyone should agree with that one. Madrid could have had them, but we'll just get stuck with City. Whatever. Shut up.
Would you have preferred Bayern? I hope the answer is no.
No, it would have been City Bayern. It would have been.
He has preferred Celtic. He wants to beat up on.
I misunderstood.
No. I might have said that wrong, but yeah. But no, I would have preferred Celtic. That would have been nice. That we would have given them nice shellacking, but that's exactly what Bayern's going to do. 5-2. 5-2 Bayern.
It's nice to see Celtic in meaningful games in this competition, but this is the end of the road.
Thanks for playing.
I think the scoreline's going to be really bad. 8-2 over 2 legs.
Oh my god!
Wow,
I wouldn't be shocked.
Didn't they put? I forget what the number was. Wasn't it 8 or 9 against Zagreb in the first leg? Our first.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, but Zagreb is I think Celtic would be
different level. But again, hey, Celtic gave up 7 goals in a league phase match against Dortmund, and that was Dortmund. So
That is a good point.
I think Bayern's really gonna, put up a big number here, and Celtic's gonna be very disappointed. Andrew has gone with 7-2, so we're kind of all in agreement here with this being.
I knew someone was going to go 7-2. I don't know why. I knew it.
And Bayern, I believe, has the second leg at home, so I feel like it's going to be semi-close after one leg, maybe 2 or 3 goal advantage, and then they're going to really open the doors. But, that one seems pretty comfortable from the 4 of us. All right, this one's an interesting one. Feyenoord sacked their manager this week ahead of their matchup. Their number 9 has gone to AC Milan. That's Santi Jimenez. So the headlines, if you're looking at a different matchup, not named City versus Real Madrid, this might be the one, because Feyenoord, one of the bigger teams in the Netherlands against Milan, who looked a little bit better under Conceição, I would say. Any hope for Feyenoord, Ricardo? Despite sacking their manager, any new manager bounce coming in here?
That could work in their favor, but it also could just go completely off the rails. I feel like they'll put up a fight. I just think Milan has more power. Maybe if they still had Santi Jimenez, I would think a little differently, but it's funny how this shook out, that it's the former player, the player going against his former team. But I think Milan has just too much attacking power, and will probably get him over the line, I'd say. And I'll say 3-2.
Jacob, have you felt convinced by Milan lately, or still kind of unsure?
I haven't been convinced by them all year. I mean,
fair enough.
I still don't understand why they ever pushed Pioli out the door. I thought that was really stupid. And it backfired because they already have a new manager, different from the one that they hired after Pioli. So they should win this. Yep. I think anything less would be very disappointing. They have more than enough talent, and they certainly have more talent than Feyenoord. How do you say it? Maybe Feyenoord. Okay. Yep. Too bad Andrew isn't here to correct me. I mean, however, they lost to freaking Dynamo Zagreb.
Feyenoord did.
No. Milan did. They lost to that team.
They beat Madrid.
To be fair, that was away from home, and they had a man sent off. Still not good enough.
Come on, Christian. Really? We're going to do excuses?
Hey, I'm just giving context.
If anything, that should make Ricardo feel even worse that they lost to Milan, considering that.
There's a different part of the season. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, they beat Madrid, but what have they done since then? I mean, I don't know. I'm reluctantly going to pick AC Milan to go through. 3-2 on aggregate.
Nice.
Feyenoord is going to be unpredictable. Again, a managerial change right before a Champions League tie is very unorthodox, but I guess it's, it could cause some interesting chaos in this tie. Santi has 5 of their 16 Champions League goals, so they're going to have to find it in other areas. Milan's been better, and I think, again, those signings, Santi Jimenez is definitely an upgrade over what they had at striker. Tammy Abraham's been fine. Morata wasn't really getting the numbers they wanted out of him. So I think they have the enough just to get over the line. But I think Feyenoord's going to cause some problems because, again, there's going to just be chaos with the new manager in the mix. Who knows what they're going to set up like? How are they going to look tactically? But I have Milan going through 4-2. Andrew has Milan putting up 6 goals over 2 legs, winning 6.
Oh, my God.
So he has them putting up a big number. Maybe he thinks Santi and João Felix are going to put up the good output. Jacob's going to crash out thinking about that, but I'll save him from dealing with that. All right, one more matchup. Monaco versus Benfica. One of Ricardo's favorites, Angel Di Maria, is going to be a part of this one. Monaco's got, I would say, notably has 2 really good youngsters in Alakouche and Ben Seguir on the wings. So those are the 2 guys to watch out for Monaco, but kind of dipped their Champions League form after that huge win on, I think it was match day 1 against Barcelona. So I don't know how to read this one. What do you think, Ricardo?
See, I don't really either. It's just I feel like I'm leaning more Benfica.
Okay.
I feel like they're just slightly more consistent. They could like at least scoring goals wise. I mean, they put up 4 against Barca before they blew that.
I don't know how they did, but
that I'll never know either. They've won their last 3 games. I mean, they've scored at least 2 in each of those games. Monaco not quite as consistent, but I still think it's going to be close. Yeah, I'm going to go Benfica, but probably by a goal. I'm going to say 4-3. I feel like Monaco is a little shaky defensively as well. So, but there'll probably be goals either way.
Jacob, what do you think about this one?
Benfica 2-2 winning in penalties.
Okay. I have this also going to an extra time. I have it finishing extra time, though. I have Monaco going through 4-3. Finding a way on the road in that second leg. Andrew has gone with 5-3 in favor of Monaco. So
split here.
Split opinion here. I think that's our only one where it was split 2-2. So
yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I like that.
All right. Yeah, that's all from us. A little bit of a shorter episode. I'm sure we'll have some reaction coming off the back.
Oh,
what?
We're not done.
No, they're gonna get a different episode for your Chelsea rant.
Be better.
Don't tease the viewers.
Oh no, I want to tease. You want them to watch, don't you?
All right, viewers, if you want to see Jacob scream at the camera for 25 minutes,
be ready, folks. I am going to unleash hell among us for the absolute disgusting performance by my club over the weekend to Andrew's club, Brighton. What a joke. Oh, I just get angry thinking about it.
Good.
It's disgusting. Anyway.
Right, that's good enough of a tease.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. All right. In terms of reaction, stay tuned. Probably something later in the week, maybe early next week, ahead of the second leg. And yeah, as Jacob's explicitly mentioned here, maybe we'll get some real anger out of him in the next few minutes.
I want anger out of you, too.
I don't have anger in me.
Yes, you do.
Maybe not. We'll see. All right, that's enough from us on the Champions League. Check out our Twitter. You'll see the predictions if you don't see them here. Let us know if you want any new videos out in the future. We're all open on ideas. And, yeah, looking forward to seeing how these matchups go. For now, that's all from us. Take care, guys.